Okay, so another thing that's worthy of note in British politics, anyway, again concerning reform, was a bit of a storm in a teacup, or maybe not, to do with the senior member or their chairman, Zia Yusuf.
Co-owner, actually.
Well, certainly owns some, doesn't it? Or he came out of nowhere, didn't he? Absolutely nowhere. No one had ever, I certainly never heard of him. No one had ever heard of him, other than in some very small business circles might have heard of him. But a self-made millionaire, apparently, of Sri Lankan extraction. And he donated, I think it was £200,000 to reform, in exchange for which Nigel just made him the chairman of the whole party. He is a Muslim. I mean, his name is Muhammad. Sorry?
And binned off Ben Habib as well.
Oh, yeah. And then since then, loads of people, quite a few people sort of got the axe because they fell foul of him. Yeah, Ben Habib, among many others. Well, Rupert Lowe, he fell out with Rupert Lowe very, very badly. I mean, they accused Rupert Lowe of threatening him and stuff. And they reported Rupert Lowe to the police. I mean, Rupert Lowe said on Twitter just yesterday, or even earlier today, was it, saying, yeah, this guy wanted me in prison. If it was up to him, I would be in prison right now. Falsely, on the strength of a lie. So anyway, there's this Zia Yusuf, this chairman. And again, most people that could potentially vote for reform are not happy with that. Because obviously he's not got our best interest in, obviously not got the British nativist white interests at heart. Obviously not. So the way it came about, we think, it seems obvious, is that at PMQs, Prime Minister's Questions, last Wednesday, their new MP stood up, that female MP, Sarah, what's her surname?
Sarah Pochin or something like that, I think.
Pochin. She stood up and asked a question about the burqa, asked the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, will you ban the burqa? Keir Starmer immediately just said, we're not going down that route. Because, of course, he's an enemy of the people. And later that day or the following day, Zia Yusuf tweets something along the lines of, I didn't even know she was going to ask that question. And then the next day, I think it was the Friday. Anyway, not too long later, day or two later, he just releases a statement saying, I resign as the chairman of Reform. It's no longer the best use of my time. That was the thing he said. I no longer think it's the best use of my time to work for a Reform government. Yeah, okay. Well, good from my point of view, from our sort of side of the aisle. Yeah, goodbye then. Yeah, don't let the door get in the ass on the way out. And then I remember like that over the next day or so, like Nigel came out and said something like, I think maybe he was overwhelmed a bit with how much was on his plate. And then the next day, I think it was the next day, he comes out and says, oh no, actually, forget that, reverse that. I'm back in the fold. I'm back on board. I don't think they're going to make him the chairman again, but he'll have some sort of new senior role. And now, apparently, it is a good use of his time again. And all the party rallied round with 5 Reform MPs, one after another, all come out saying, welcome back. It's great to have you back. So that whole debacle happened. That whole storm in a teacup happened. And so looking in on it from the outside, from someone who, is right-leaning and has got a history with Reform and on some level obviously think they're better than Labour or Lib Dem or Greens, but also think they're still weak. Someone like us looking in, it's like, what was that? What was all of that? And it also begs a few sort of interesting questions about sort of what the dynamic going on behind closed doors. I mean, someone suggested, even Lotus Eaters and my boss and friend Carl Benjamin said, like, what has Zia Yusuf got on Nigel? Why would Nigel reverse himself like that? Is he being blackmailed? Like, who is Zia Yusuf? No, really. Who is he? Where did he come from? Who's behind him?
Yeah.
Is he some sort of state asset? Like, what is going on there? It's dodgy. It seems weird and dodgy as hell, and a bit funny as well, in my opinion. It's a bit like, like a bit of a funny embarrassment. I don't know. What do you think?
I think the whole thing's just bizarre and farcical. So it wasn't just the I didn't know about that he tweeted. He also went on to basically call. So he said it's also really dumb of an MP. It's dumb of a party for an MP to say something that they know is actually against what the party believes, or something along those lines. I can't exactly remember what it was that he said, but he implied that the MP was dumb and that the party,
that female Sarah Puchin. Sorry, yeah, right.
Yeah. He implied that she was dumb, and also that basically Reform was stupid as well, or something along those lines. It was really weird. Just what a shit show! Like, what an actual shit show. I mean, incredibly, he was supposed to be brought on to help professionalize the party, and yet that's probably one of the most unprofessional things. And everything that has happened since has been incredibly unprofessional, with him all involved. Anything within his orbit is all incredibly unprofessional. You know, the firing of essentially Nigel Farage's right-hand man, Gawain Towler. You know, he was basically removed because of Zia Yusuf as well. Rupert Lowe removed because of Zia Yusuf. Now calling an MP dumb, removing himself because of Zia Yusuf, and then coming back. Like, what? And again, it does beg the question, right? This guy came out of absolutely nowhere. I remember when there was rumors about it. They were like, "Oh, there's rumors." You know, Reform's got a really big donor. You know, and basically was just kind of wheeled out as a token Muslim. You know, token brown guy. Hey guys, we've got a brownie on side. It's not that's what I'm saying. It's basically what they were saying, paraphrasing. We've got a brownie on side. You know, we've got this chap. We're not racist. Look, we're not racist. Look. Look, we're not Islamophobic. You know, he's a Muslim as well. You know, it was a double whammy for Reform. They loved it. Nigel Farage hide behind their brown Muslim shield, basically, against all the accusations that he's such a fragile loser over. But really, who is he? What is his interest in Reform? Because if you think about Reform prior to Zia Yusuf, it seemed it had an identity, right? It had an identity. It had a trajectory that it was going on. And I mean, actually, before Nigel Farage as well, right? Before Nigel Farage parachuted himself back in, you know, you had Ben Habib and Richard Tice. It seemed pretty obvious that Reform was to be the nativist right-wing party for the UK. And then Nigel Farage jumped back in. Zia Yusuf came in, Ben Habib's gone, Rupert Lowe's gone, and they've morphed it into this just weak centrist nonsense, like blatant containment project. It wasn't before then. I don't think so. It wasn't blatantly a containment project anyway. It might have still been. It might have been what its aim always was, but at that point, it wasn't blatant. But yeah, who is he? Like, what is his interest in changing the party to this thing? Like, why? What is it? Fifth columnist, probably, maybe. Yeah, sees the rise of a nativist party. Yeah, well, you know, first name Mohammed speaks volumes as to why potentially he would look to subvert the party into becoming this just pathetic husk that it is. I guess, I don't know, but who is he? Yeah, really odd. And what does he have on Nigel? Or you know, what does whoever's behind Zia have on Nigel? Why is Nigel such a pathetic loser? Why is he such a spineless, absolute spineless boomer? Because he really is. Like, he is so pathetic. And remember, and I love this, Enoch Powell refused to endorse him. Remember that. One of the most popular politicians of all time refused to endorse Nigel Farage. Did it for a reason.
Was that right at the end of Powell's life, I take it?
Yeah.
Right. I wasn't actually aware of that.
Were you not?
No, it's very interesting.
Oh, I love it.
Very interesting data point. Yeah. Well, Elon didn't like him, did he? Remember that? Elon was like, he's not the guy. Yeah. Again, it's political cowardice, political spinelessness. not being a leader, a true thought leader, a leader of men, leading the charge, being outside the Overton window all the time and leading the way. There's none of that. And yeah, Zia Yusuf is obviously some sort of shield, like the token brown man shield. Look, Krishnan Guru Murphy, look, Laura Kuenigberg, we've got a brown man as our chairman. We can't be racist, right? We've got friends that are brown, so we can't be racist. It's the most pathetic boomer bullshit. And yeah, you make a great point that they always say that Zia Yusuf, his role, his remit was to professionalize the party, turn it from a one-man show or like this cult of personality into a true party of government, to professionalize it. Yeah, well, nearly everything he does is clown shoes, though. Nearly everything he touches screams of unprofessionalism. And I just simply do not trust him to act in the best interests of the native peoples of these islands, and to undermine any in the party that do, or destroy them within the party if they do. I mean, Rupert Lowe is the perfect example. Rupert Lowe, he may well have had, well, did also have issues with Nigel himself, but Rupert Lowe was saying truly nativist-based nationalist things. Well, so they made up that he was bullying Zia, or even threatened him, because it went to the police, didn't it? And the police cleared him. So that didn't happen then. So that was a lie. That was just a pure lie. You do anything to destroy someone within the party that's trying to act in the interest of the people. Right. So your containment, you're absolutely 100% my enemy politically, and your containment. And once again, who are you? Where did you come from? Like, what are you really?
Yeah.
And then this whole thing of resigning and then coming back.
What is that?
Weird. It's like,
yeah.
It feels like, obviously, I don't know. No one really knows. Behind closed doors, it feels like he said to Nigel, "Let me back in, dude, or I'm gonna release whatever dirt I've got on you." And Nigel's got no. I mean, I've heard rumblings, and they are just rumors, so this is all alleged. But I've heard rumors for years that the establishment, MI5, whoever you want to say, is the swamp in Britain, the blob. I've heard for years that they've got compromat on Nige. God knows what it is, and I've never really heard any rumors of specifically what it is. But I've heard loads all over the place. People that have known Nigel well and worked with him. I'm talking about, not just random scuttlebutt on Twitter, but people that could or should know have said, yeah, he's completely compromised. Yeah. It's like, okay, this episode only adds to that feeling.
Massively. So just here you go. UKIP leader Nigel Farage asked Enoch Powell to publicly back his attempt to win a by-election 20 years ago, but he refused, it was reported. Right-wing Powell, famed for his Rivers of Blood speech, a fantastic speech, genuinely superb speech, well worth tracking it down, listening to it. It's brilliant. From arguably one of the last great politicians who actually has an IQ.
Truth bomb after truth bomb dropped with unerring precision. That speech.
Yep. So also turned down 2 requests to stand for UKIP as well. So he refused to go for UKIP. Letters seen by the newspaper are said to reveal a then 29-year-old Farage wrote to Powell in March 1994 when he was a candidate for Eastleigh. He's reported to have told him, "I have everything in place to fight a good, aggressive campaign, but a voice from you could transform things and put the issue to the forefront." But despite being offered transport, dinner, and whatever you need, Mr. Powell replied that after very serious consideration, which he would have, he would have, I do not feel I can contribute further to the campaign by speaking on your behalf. That's
oof.
Nah, get wrecked, mate.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, legitimately, Enoch Powell was like, "No, mate, you are not the guy." Even Enoch could see it. And quickly, just to go back to the Zia situation. Isn't this weird? So again, we're talking about him leaving and coming back the day later. What is this? Welcome back. Thank you, Leland. Absolutely buzzing. Zia Yusuf is sticking around. Why are you? Why?
Why would
Why? You want a Muslim overlord? Like, why? Why? Why are you buzzing? Who is he? What?
The party
he's a
line.
personality vacuum. He's got no charisma at all.
Yeah.
Like, who is he? What does he stand for? What is he even? What is Zia? Mohammed Zia Yusuf. What? And again, look, I'd be embarrassed retweeting this. Like, I'm highlighting. I'm hanging a lantern on my obscure behavior. Zia Yusuf rejoining Reform is a great relief to us all. Thank you, Dylan. Best of luck with your exam. Why? Why are you retweeting this? This is weird.
Yeah.
And it's just constant. All of this.
It all reeks of something not just odd, but a little bit sinister going on in the background. And you're right, Zia Yusuf, if he was a really, really compelling speaker, or he was a bit funny, or he had any charisma at all, really, so it would make some sense. But he hasn't. He's just a completely bland, there's nothing to him. There's nothing to him. He's an empty bag. So, yeah, and the party line was obviously say that he's an asset, because a lot of them came out and said, great to have Zia Yusuf back. He's such an asset to the party, using this exactly the same word.
Hugely talented. What is he?
Yeah, why? How? Why are you saying that? What evidence? Why do you? No, it's nonsense. It's just nonsense. I could never ever trust Zia Yusuf himself or anyone like him. No, we need a true sort of nativist patriot. And he's nowhere near that. He's nowhere near that. It's weird. It's just weird at this point, without knowing, all the details, all the secrets, everything that's actually going on. All we can say from the outside looking in is that it's weird. It's odd.
I mean, what's he doing? So look, this is what Nigel tweeted out. I'm delighted that Zia will head up Reform UK's Doge department, which is completely pointless anyway, right? Like, it's completely pointless. I'm talking about this Doge crap. This is just boomer nonsense. Them going, oh, look, we've got our own Doge. You haven't got anything. You're not doing anything. Okay,
it's like
you're not.
Our equivalent of Elon.
Yeah, like you're not doing anything. You're not in power. You can't do anything. This is redundant. All you're doing is going, well, what are you spending some money on? Oh, right, this then, I guess. It's just pathetic. So what's he going to do? He's going to assist the party with policy, fundraising, and media appearances. Zia will continue to be an important part of the team we're building to fight and win the next general election. How is he important? What's he doing? Who is he?
And all the Reform loyalists are just like, oh, great, yeah, brilliant. He's such an asset.
Absolute bangers at the top there, though.
Oh, yeah.
Nigel never misses an opportunity to defy his own base. Yep.
That's Dan Tubb, isn't it? That's Lotus Eaters, Dan. Yeah.
Yeah. Rupert Lowe, this is all objectively hilarious. Yeah. Like, it's a complete joke.
Yeah. If there wasn't so much on the line, I mean, I've been joking about it and laughing a bit, but it's really sad, really, that every time any sort of a movement, some sort of grassroots movement came up like this, and it's just subverted from within and above. It's really sad, actually, because there's so much at stake. There's the future of England itself is at stake.
Yeah. It's funny though. Look, what dirt does Zia have on Farage? Something's weird about your relationship with this man. Yeah. Why are you not giving that position to a British person? Yeah. What about the Burqa debate? Was this the price to pay to accept him back?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
he's moved from chairman.
Anyone that's not a party loyalist will be asking these questions. Like, what just happened? Sorry, seriously, truthfully, honestly, what just happened there? They'll never tell us. We'll never know, probably. But it does look like he's got compromat on Nige. I mean, that's
Yeah,
what
like,
I would. That's
massive
my
amount.
guess. That's my guess.
Yeah. He's moved from chairman to the formal heir apparent. You despicable traitor.
Right. Yeah, not mincing any words there. Love it.